This conference will now be recorded.
I'd like to welcome everyone. This is our May 27th meeting of the Climate Smart Kingston Commission. This is a virtual meeting, so I appreciate everyone's patience and being here. I'm going to ask that anyone from the public stays muted and off camera for the length of the meeting. Doesn't look like we have anyone from the public right now. And I will just note who is on the call and let me know if I miss anyone. Commissioners, we have Betta Broad, Jessica Kuonen, Kevin McAvoy, Maya Nemisto, Serena Pepper, Dan Smith, Karen Sullivan, Cal Truman, Alderman Rennie Scott Childress, and from the Community and Economic Development Office, Brenna Robinson. And looks like we have a guest. Hey, Neshka, how are you?
Hey.
Good to see you. Is there anyone that I missed? Okay.
Hey, Neshka. Hey. Good to see you.
Do we have one guest? So, Neshka, do you have any public comment you'd like to make for the record?
No, I'm just listening in because I haven't listened in to any of these conversations, and I'm very intrigued by everything you guys are doing.
Great. Well, welcome. Are there any modifications to the agenda?
Julie?
Yeah.
Julie? One
Yeah.
question. Who's the anonymous caller?
Caller one is Cal.
Oh, okay.
Are there any modifications to the agenda? No? Okay, so then we need to review and approve the April 2020 meeting minutes. Does anyone have any changes, concerns, or issues with the minutes? Thank you, Kevin, for putting them together.
I had a change under number 11, New York Energy Stretch Code. It said that I had discussed code review with neighboring towns, but I was actually unable to discuss it due to COVID.
So should we change it to will discuss?
I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I missed that opportunity, basically.
Okay.
So maybe unable to discuss, because I was going to do that.
Yeah, I probably heard it wrong. Sorry.
No problem. Just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, some of this stuff breaks up. Yeah, just so you know. Sometimes you got your sound breaks up or my sound breaks up. You know, happens.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Any other comments on the notes? If not, I need a motion to accept the April 22nd Climate Smart meeting minutes as amended.
Move to accept.
Who was that?
Serena.
Serena? Okay,
Yes.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Karen? Any discussion? All in favor? Raise your hand or say aye.
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 Anyone opposed or abstaining? Maya, you're abstaining?
My hand just stayed up too long, sorry.
Okay, so it's approved, no abstentions and no opposition. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin, for being relentless and diligent about minute taking, even when we are remote.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on to old business, 2020 Climate Action Plan and Greenhouse Gas Emissions Update. So the Greenhouse Gas Emissions Update is in draft form. It is temporarily going public as a requirement of our Climate Smart Communities recertification, which I'll get to in a moment. You can actually find the greenhouse gas emissions update now on the city's website, a short report about it. It's at on the sustainability page and under energy. Sean is making some final changes to that and was not ready to present it yet, but it will likely be able to do so at our next meeting. And we have been in discussion with Cadmus Group we had to revise the scope of our proposal for our climate action plan. We are in negotiations with Cadmus Group with support from the Novo Foundation to redo the climate action plan. And the Novo Foundation has pledged to cover the costs of that project, which is fantastic. And so now we are just refining the scope with the Cadmus Group. We expect to be in contract with them within the next month or so. And our timeline is still to complete the climate action plan update for release on Earth Day-ish of 2021. So that's very exciting. In that process, we're also going to be collaborating heavily with Citizens for Local Power. And so we actually have a meeting coming up to understand the role of community engagement for Citizens for Local Power and how that all works together. So needless to say, Climate Action Plan 2.0 isn't necessarily going to be, I always call it 2.0 because I just like to have fun names, but it's not really going to be like the same format, the same structure. It's really going to be a standalone document with recognition that there was an original. So I keep telling myself and Sean, don't compare it to the original. It's just gonna be different. But I'm really very excited about it. The new revised scope is probably gonna rely heavily on both Sean and my time, but with guidance certainly, and the ship being steered by Cadmus. Well, the ship's being steered by us, but they're really going to be doing the bulk of it. So I'm excited about that. I will let you all know when the scope is final, and I'll share that scope with everyone, and then I'll let you know as soon as there's going to be an opening sort of kickoff meeting for those folks who want to have sort of a more ongoing role in the process. Any questions about that? Okay, Dan, refrigerants?
Refrigerants. Can everybody hear me okay?
We can.
So I'm just looking back through emails, and where we left off was on April 28th. Nobody responded to me. So it was basically, want to try to get ahead of the CFA announcement, reaching out to Institute for Pollution Prevention, use our connections there to try to help develop a scope for, refrigerant management for the city of Kingston. So hear what Maya and Jessica.
Okay, anything else from Maya or Jessica?
No, I'm reemerging from being totally in the adjustment of like parenting and working full time from home. So I haven't done any work on it. I know there was a email exchange that I don't know if we got clarification on if the grant application to support work on refrigerants, was that competitive with something else that you were applying for, Julie, or did we determine that it's actually separate?
It's separate. So we didn't miss the opportunity yet.
Okay.
Still have the opportunity.
Okay.
There was, I was mistaken on the previous meeting. There is the Community Grants Program, which is offered New York State Pollution Prevention Institute, and then there is the Climate Smart Community Program, and that's via the CFA.
Right.
So it's the P2I one going forward, not the CFA.
We are not going for the P2I one that was due in 2
Okay.
days.
CFA then. Okay, great.
Yeah, so that was my mistake. There was a lot of crossover between the two, but they are separate. But I guess the news on the no news is that unless I missed it, I haven't seen any announcements for 2020 CFA.
You haven't.
Guessing everything is delayed, just like everything else with the COVID pandemic. But if you go to the CFA website, everything is still 2019. So no news there. So until they announce it, there's nothing to apply to.
Yeah, the DEC, Hudson River Restoration Program, and other DEC grants haven't come out yet. There's another local access one that normally comes out this time of year and hasn't come out yet. And Brenna, I don't know if you've heard anything about CFAs. I haven't seen anything. Yeah, we haven't seen anything yet. So we'll keep our eyes out for that.
So I guess that's really the update, is when we see the CFA drop, we'll start making our moves. Unless, Maya, Jessica, if we want to reach out to Pollution Prevention Institute, take a look at the PowerPoint slide that they presented a few months ago and see where there's a scope.
I will just note before this may inform your decision on that, is that I was, I got communication about a week or 10 days ago from the Pollution Prevention Institute, and they are evaluating the idea of doing an ongoing refrigerants workshop for municipalities, which would be similar to the Climate Action Planning Institute sort of structure that Sean participated in, which would be like a monthly thing or maybe a couple bi-weekly or whatever, probably monthly, where there would be, some sort of tool, some sort of teaching, and then some sort of, live action, workshop portion. And they were talking to me just to get a municipal perspective about, what do you think communities would be interested in this? Would we be interested in it? What time of day would work? How long would the workshops be? What would need to happen with it? Would we pay for it? And so that's still all being worked out. I will keep you all posted on that. I think we're not even checking back in on this for another month. So I think it's a little bit down the road, but we should definitely still proceed with a grant once that comes out.
Of course, I don't think they're mutually exclusive.
Yeah. Great. Okay, anything else? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm happy to, get together for research or planning or any of that. Dan, just let me know. Via Zoom.
It wouldn't be bad to just, in anticipation of this, just to put together a scope, to just say, this is what the previous grants have been, this is what the scope of what ours is going to be, and just begin to initially identify things like what would it pay for, where would our match come from, all that, so that, we're not just playing hurry up and apply once it happens. So in the downtime, that wouldn't be bad to do.
Sure, I think we've probably touched on this several times. There's the city itself, what is it, performing an audit of what the city owns, and then there's the the community aspect of collecting curbside appliances and following the chain of custody through whether it's a recovery or a dump or something like that, and just tracing it all the way through. So those are the two big things. And I guess we can take a look at just breaking it down into bullet points and into a rough scope.
Great.
Sure.
Okay. Anything else on refrigerants? Excellent. Okay. City sustainability projects. I'll give you an update on a few. One is one that I need some assistance on. The organics diversion plan is starting to come to a close. The data analysis for sure is, and in doing so, it's come to my attention that we need additional match hours. And so something that Carla and I discussed was having someone from Climate Smart reach out to the businesses that completed the composting survey to individually thank them and say, you know, we appreciate your time and energy. This is where the project is now, and this is, you know, how we'd love you to be involved into the future. That would end up, we have about 24 businesses that I would love somebody on Climate Smart or a couple people to, you know, I'll give you the list, you have it would just be an email. You know, create a form letter and say, this is thank you, blah, 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 blah. It probably wouldn't take very long, but whatever I can do to get people to do some match would be great. Plus to maintain that communication with the businesses would be fantastic. It probably would take less than a couple hours of your time. Is there anyone that would be interested or willing to do that?
Hi, sorry, this is Cal. I got booted off for a second. Can you repeat the ask?
The ask is to have someone on Climate Smart take the 24 emails of the businesses that replied to the composting survey and send them a thank you on behalf of Climate Smart and the city for their participation, and to just give them a heads up on what's happening next with the project. I would be able to work with you to develop what that note would look like, but somebody to just actually do that action.
I think I can do that.
Julie. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. If Serena, do you want to do it? I don't mind, by the way.
Sure, I wouldn't mind reaching out.
Serena, great. I'll follow up with you separately. Thank you. That being said about the organics project, Carla is like I said, she's wrapping up the analysis, and then next becomes just the full development of the plan, of the writing of the whole plan with the recommendations. The LED project has been on pause. There is nothing that has been acting on it. We have lights that are out still. People are reporting them. There's nothing I can do about it. That project is on pause. I would expect it would open up soon, but I haven't gotten the word that they are yet. The Point Park is not on pause. We are working through with the design. I've been meeting with Bernier and Larios to develop the design of the parking lot and the soccer field, and that's been great. We have some preliminary designs, and we're going to be now working through the seeker process and the permitting process with the anticipation of going out to bid for construction sometime within the next month or so, assuming we have all the permitting. For those of you who participated in the climate adaptive design review, thank you very much for doing that. We were able to get about 130 responses to people who watched the webinar and provided feedback on your opinions about the 3 different alternative designs for Kingston Point Beach. Great input from folks, including additional, thoughts about other ways that the beach could be used. So that input is now closed, and my review team had actually just saw the results today, so we're going to be going over that and taking that now from where we are now to the final design documents for that project based on those responses. I'll keep you updated. Climate Smart Community Certification. I got word 2 days ago that we were 18 points away from getting silver certification, and DEC said we don't want to go public with this again because all these times they've said, you missed the deadline, this is wrong, do it again, blah, blah, blah. And the last one was 18 points away. This is 2 days ago. It's today, Wednesday, Monday. And I said, okay, I'm going to put all of my time this week into figuring out those 18 points. And Dazzle, who I worked with at DEC, said, okay, you need to do so by 1:30 on Wednesday, which is today, because they will be going public on Friday with those communities that are recertified. I have the results and I'm not able to say. But on Friday, you'll find out whether we are recertified as silver or not when it comes out in the public. So keep your eyes out for that. I can't wait to find out what the response will be. And this process will be hopefully over for now. Okay, the 2 more quick things. We are working with the council on moving through the secret process for the open space plan. Kevin and the CAC have been helping with putting together the environmental assessment forms. Those are now being reviewed by the involved agencies, and it's going to go back to the council for a determination of negative or positive declaration. So we anticipate that happening hopefully in June. And then it will need to go through whether or not they want to adopt it. And one other thing I wanted to note is that we are creating, and I'm drafting, a green infrastructure management plan for the city. So we have a number of locations around the city where we have green infrastructure installed. So we have, like, on North Front Street, the lots on North Front Street have green infrastructure practices. And Forsyth Nature Center has green infrastructure practices. So we're talking things like permeable pavement or porous pavers or bioswales, things like that. And as part of Broadway, we're going to be having many dozen new bioswales. And certainly as we move forward, we're going to have more and more projects with using green infrastructure for stormwater management, including 2 grants that we actually just got for Dietz Stadium, in addition to the DRI, in order to manage the stormwater at Dietz Stadium parking lot. And, you know, in having this discussion, we certainly understand that green infrastructure practices aren't at all just set it and forget it. And so we need a plan that everyone can understand whose responsibilities are what, how to maintain things, how we don't ruin things, all of that. So I'm drafting that. It's going to be a sort of a practice of how our departments manage green infrastructure. And it'll lay out, you know, at this location, this is what needs to be done. At this location, this is what needs to be done, so that everyone can make sure that we have sustainability in these practices and that we're not losing them or foregoing them or wasting their efficacy. So that's exciting, and I expect that we'll have that in place in the next couple of months. We're not super rushing on it, but it's something that we're working on. I'm also managing some the city parks projects now. So there's a number of different projects. Barman Park is going to be getting $70,000 upgrade, which is exciting. And Kingston Point, as I mentioned, the Andy Murphy Center. And we are also evaluating what it will be like if we were to open the beach. So we're evaluating a beach reopening plan, and we'll let folks know in the next week or so what that would look like. And I'm helping to put together that reopening plan.
So Julie, what park did you say was getting an upgrade?
Barman. So Barman Park is also locally called Metro, the Metro Park. It is off of Greenkill Avenue, across from the Boys and Girls Club. There's a ball field there, and there's a small playground that was put in with a community build several years ago. But we were able to get some funding through CDBG 2 years in a row, and so I'm working with another colleague to make that happen.
Great.
So that's where we are right now with sustainability projects, I guess. Any questions on any of those or anything else that you know I'm working on that you want to know about? Okay, moving on to Repair Cafe. Melissa and John are both not here, unless Melissa joined as caller 3 or 4. So we're going to table that, unless anyone else has any other information about Repair Cafe. Okay, I guess we're also going to table outreach and education unless someone has information about that because Melissa's not here. Green Business Challenge, Betta?
Well, sorry, no, I I don't have an update.
That's okay.
Put me on the agenda for next time,
Okay.
please. I think honestly, the county has been up to their eyeballs in dealing with, project resilience and all of that. So I don't necessarily think doing outreach to businesses has been regarding, taking climate actions has been top of their priority list, but I'll try to find out hopefully when it will be.
Yeah, it would be good to know also if they, I mean, I know intimately what happened with our city budget, but I don't know how the county has slashed their budget at all. And it will be, and or what they're doing with personnel. So it'll be interesting to know if that position was cut.
Yeah, that's a good point. I hope not, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it was.
Okay. All right, well, we'll check back in next month with an update. Thanks, Betta. Kevin, zoning updates?
Well, I haven't heard anything further from the council. Rennie's on the meeting. If Rennie has a comment, that would be great. If not, I've attended a couple of like Zoom meetings on urban agriculture where there's a push. I think we had this at the CAC where some of the people had shown up that were interested in this fruit tree project. And they're also interested in pushing forward an initiative on getting an urban agriculture aspect to the present zoning done if the zoning revamp is going to be postponed indefinitely. So that's a work in progress, and I'm in touch with with Kingston Land Trust, who's involved, and Corrine Dutel and Jared Williams and Barbara Scott. So this will be continued next time.
Great. And
More, well, probably at the CAC, in early June.
great. So for those who aren't aware of it, it's a new initiative called Future Fruits. And Future Fruits is a group of people that Kevin just mentioned that are looking to change the common landscape from non-edibles to edibles, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Put fruit trees and plants and fruit and edible plants in places that people can access them. So it's an early discussion. But Rennie, I see you there. Do you have any update on the zoning? Kevin said that not really anything, but do you have anything?
You mean on creating a new zoning plan for the whole city?
Yeah.
Oh, that's totally in abeyance at the moment because the last we got was a really large, a request for a very large amount of money to hire a consultant to run the process. And then COVID hit. So I think that's going to be a while.
Okay, great, thanks. So Kevin, do you want me to take this off the agenda at this point? I know I asked last month, but I'll ask again.
With the urban ag thing pending, I don't know, that group may approach the council with a limited scope zoning change request. I don't know where they're going with this, but that was where we left it at the last meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah. And they've been reviewing phase 1 and phase 2 that Jennifer did, and phase 2 actually has a zoning template in it just for urban ag and very limited open space. It's like a couple of pages. It's not no more comprehensive than say the affordable housing thing is, in terms of, its scope, it's like a couple of pages.
Okay, great. Yep, all right, I'll keep it on there then. Thanks, Kevin. Okay, should we move on to Heat Smart? Betta?
I don't have any updates, although there are new incentives available now through through Central Hudson, which are an improvement over what was offered before. So I don't have anything specific about the Heat Smart campaign, but if people are interested in heat pumps, especially those of you who don't have air conditioning, please, reach out to me. I'm happy to, make recommendations about companies or connect you and can provide the details about the incentives as well.
Jessica? Are you saying you don't have air conditioning?
I don't have air conditioning and I'm like really hot. I'm on the second floor.
Catch up with us. Okay, great. Thanks, Bella. Solar, community solar. Cal, any updates? How have you been? Is Cal still here? Did we lose Cal?
I think we lost him again.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, no, my phone dropped me twice, but I am here. So the updates on solar and community solar is that stuff was all subject to pause. So installations are not continuing. I also I was one of the many clean energy jobs that got lost during this economic slowdown. So I am no longer working for Sun Common, but all of the installers in the area are having to lay people off. So it's a challenging time for solar, is the best I can say. So I do not have any particular insight other than a lot of people are not able to work right now, and installs are mostly halted. I know they made exceptions. They're starting to make exceptions for outdoor work. That's up to two people that can be done using proper social distancing. So some of the larger scale solar farms will be able to start installing again soon. And I believe also people will be able to work on installations at homes where the homeowners are not present. But I don't have any more information than that.
So solar installs didn't reopen as part of phase 1?
I don't actually know if they've reopened. I mean, that's very recent. And I lost my job like a couple weeks ago, so I don't have any more recent information.
Okay. Sorry to hear about that. I hope that things turn around.
Thank you.
Okay, does anyone else have anything else with solar or community solar at this point? Okay. Maya, bike ped master plan? No.
Nope, I've been biking a lot, like a master, with no plan.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's any movement on it because it's being run by Emily Flynn, who has been 100% COVID coordination since the beginning of COVID. So I can't imagine that there's any movement on that right now. Youth engagement, anything, Maya?
I mean, so many things slow down and then went virtual with the schools that anything that was happening, either like through the letter of support that the commission put together for Clearwater, they did a lot of that education stuff, the programs, and then have moved virtually. So we still have a lot of close contacts with some of the high school teachers in the Kingston High School, and I'm doing some summer like virtual programs with people, but everything shifted so dramatically for the school system that I don't have any real updates, no.
Okay.
This is Cal again. As we try to work on more of that stuff, I'd like to help more with the youth engagement side of things. If there's stuff to loop me into, I would love to be looped in. And if not, then like going forward, I would love to help with that more. That's all.
Yeah, that'd be great, Cal.
Cool. Thanks.
Great, so you guys can hook up and see what happens next. Excellent. Okay, Any update with the New York Energy Stretch Code, Jessica?
Kind of. I'm gonna talk with Steve Knox, who leads the code enforcement department here in Kingston, probably next week. I reached out to him and his team were in the process of reviewing the 2020 building code updates last month, so they were like busy, but he said he's happy to talk. So yeah, I'll talk to him next week, and the plan was just to kind of feel it out how he sees it in terms of like feasibility and what would this really mean for people applying for permits. There's also a really good FAQ document on the NYSERDA website that talks a lot about kind of how it's a higher initial cost, but it really spells out what you save over time. And so I was also going to ask if this is not something that we like bring to the Common Council and try to get passed, if his team would be interested in like distributing outreach materials about it for people that were able to, build these higher standards into their homes. And so I just wanted to ask the group if that seemed like a good approach, or if there were any other questions that I could float to Steve when we talk.
People have thoughts on that? I think it's a good approach. I mean, I think that if the council doesn't pass the policy, we could at least try to adopt it as practice in some way, or promote it. I think that could be a good role of Climate Smart Kingston, to be helping with the education and promotion of that as a practice, if it's not adopted as a mandatory policy. Other people's thoughts?
Sounds good.
Okay. Green fleet and anti-idling policy, I have no update. Vision statement review. So I'll give you all a whole month to review this one sentence of the vision statement, and today maybe we will finalize it. So as a review, our current vision statement is the city of Kingston will be a model city of energy, environmental, and economic sustainability by 2020 within city government operations and throughout the community. And we talked last time about different options for changing the whole thing, extending the date, changing the wording, wordsmithing it at all. So I'd love to hear what people have thought about in order to change the vision statement.
Is there any reason to have any date in the sentence?
Whatever the group wants. We put 2020, and the reason we're doing this now is because it's 2020, and now it's either we check it off and say we're done, or we have to change it or take the date out, or we could change it to 2030. We could.
Wouldn't it make sense to wait until Friday, just for kind of obvious reasons, to see if there might be some other language we could include? Or is that not something that we want to tie to the Climate Smart community certification?
Oh. We could do that.
Okay.
So you're saying like you change the language to reflect certification if you have that, whatever.
I mean, even just to use it as an identifier, because there's been so much progress made on that, that's kind of more of a starting point, in terms of what's already been accomplished than to make it sound like we're going for it. We've pretty much become a model city, and that's our best indication to share to people that that's been recognized and certified.
Right. And so if we feel like we've accomplished that, then what is the vision of Climate Smart Kingston then? Because the vision would be, I mean, Jessica, you outlined this the last time, right? It's like what we want to achieve. It needs to be measurable. It could be maintain something, or I don't know.
I don't think that just because we've achieved a certain level of climate smart certification, it means that we've achieved that original statement of sustainability in the energy, environmental, and economic spheres throughout the community. There's been a lot of strides at the municipal level, but I think we've got a long way to go. And that's no failing on Kingston's part. I mean, it's our society as a whole is a long way to go, but.
Yep. Yeah.
Maybe taking, like Maya suggested, because the vision is like your idyllic condition or situation or state, and just taking by 2020 out is that is the ultimate attainment, the ultimate achievement, that Kingston will be the model city of all of those energy, environmental, economic, sustainability. Just take out the date. Because no matter where we get to in those certifications, there's always going to be more that we can do. So we just have to keep striving for that vision.
Mm-hmm. Other thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Brenna. Yeah, just the data temporarily, and then if you want to change, do a whole overhaul at a later meeting, then we're ready to do that then.
I had more of a question about what a model city was. Like I Googled it and it was actually like a program by Lyndon Johnson in like the 60s. I don't know if we were referencing that or if it's just a term that has other meaning in other contexts.
Interestingly, it's interesting that you looked at that part specifically, and I see now that when I look at it that we capitalized model and city like it was an actual proper name. I did not have any background context to what I thought model city was besides just a champion, a leader. Do you think that, are we misrepresenting model city then, you think?
No, I'd never heard the term before. And since it was capitalized, I think that made me want to look it up. But I don't know.
Maybe we should not have it be capitalized.
Or, yeah.
It's a little odd.
Yeah.
Capitalized. Good catch, Jessica.
Yeah, good catch.
Cool.
Okay. What else? So right now I'm hearing lowercase model city, take out the quotes, and remove the date, which would then say it was the city of Kingston will be a model city of energy, environmental, and economic sustainability within city government operations and throughout the community.
Yeah.
That sound okay?
Yeah.
Any opposition? Do you think we should vote on it?
I think you need to.
Okay. So does someone want to make a motion that we change the vision statement to City of Kingston will be a model city of energy, environmental, and economic sustainability within city government operations and throughout the community? I need a motion.
Motion. Okay.
I will. I don't know what to say.
Kevin moved. Can I get a second?
Second.
Jessica, second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion? Raise your hand or say aye. Anyone opposed or abstaining? Dan and Cal, did you vote yes?
Yes. Abstain.
Al, you still here? No.
Yes,
not-
hi, I'm here. It's just really hard to unmute. I'm also in favor.
Great, fantastic. Okay, so that's our new vision. New vision statement, success. Great work, people. All right, so I didn't have any new business on the agenda. Are there any, so moving on, Public Safety General Government Committee, Serena, any updates?
I'm sorry.
General Government, Public Safety Committee, any updates?
I had technical difficulties after the last meeting, so I wasn't able to even follow. I actually missed this whole mission statement thing. You probably maybe brought that up towards the end of the meeting, but I wasn't able to ask about calling in for that or what the procedure was. We never really got a chance to talk about how I would transition over in a virtual scenario.
Okay, so the meeting login is on the city's website.
Okay, so just,
It's public.
yeah, tonight I don't have an issue. I can totally log in after this meeting. The last time I did not have, I had accessibility issues, let's put it that
Okay.
way.
Do you know you've also been sideways the entire time?
Oh, well, I felt like doing this meeting lying down.
That's okay.
When I raise my hand, does it still count?
Okay.
Thank
Great.
you. That's how my tripod is. I don't know what else to do.
All right.
I'll work on that.
Okay, so great. You'll be able to go to that meeting. Etta or Cal, has the Ulster County Climate Smart Committee been meeting, and do you have any update?
It did meet, but it met like at a very strange night than it normally does, and there was no calendar invite, and I totally missed it. Cal, I don't know if you made it.
I did attend. It was a little harder to follow than usual. I could pull up the agenda if that'd be helpful, but I don't have any particular notes from it. It's definitely different to do the check-ins with people virtually. A lot of things are sort of tabled for the moment.
Did you get the impression that people were sort of pausing on all climate and sustainability work as a blanket across different communities, or that people were being laid off or furloughed, or that work was still happening? Could you get that impression?
My impression at the county level and actually in the community levels is that folks did pause. I guess I should use a different term. A lot of this work did halt briefly and is starting back up as people are able. So not very much work, I think, happened in a lot of the community groups between like March and now, or March and a week ago. But I believe that work is in general starting back up.
Okay. Great. Are you able to go to, when was it? Like a week ago?
It was May 11th.
Okay. Are you able to go next month?
Yes, I should be. Yep. I'm planning to.
Great. Okay. Any other announcements, communications, events, or updates?
I just wanted to make a brief announcement. Sorry, Bet, I didn't mean to step on you.
No, it's okay.
I attended my first meeting as a board member of the Kingston City Land Bank last month, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I had been appointed, and I was really enjoying that so far. Especially, I think Aneshka is still on the line. I'm not sure if she's still with us, but I just wanted to mention that, and I'm trying to figure out which subcommittees I get to participate
Yep, I'm
in.
still here. Welcome, Serena. It's great to have you.
Oh, thank you,
I'm
Aneshka. I appreciate
pleased to
that.
see that you're still working on this climate action plan. It's great.
Yeah, 10 years in, it's pretty interesting to see how it's gone. So I'll be reporting, if I think there's some relevant crossover that's worthy of bringing to Climate Smart Kingston's attention, I'll probably, bring that to your guys' attention. And actually had a question for Jessica once we're not at the meeting on some finer points and on what she was speaking about. And then I think, there'll be something that I can probably carry to the table for the land bank from Climate Smart in terms of the stretch code or, just other things that come along sustainability as an approach to anything that's happening here in the city, and making sure that that's a theme we stay on in everything that we do, but especially restoring properties that would otherwise definitely not get any kind of attention, presumably. So just wanted to let you guys know that that's something else I'm working on.
Great. I do want to catch your ear offline at some point to just, and maybe you've already been made aware of this, but NREL did a full evaluation of some of the land bank buildings. So we have that evaluation that I can share with you, and that will be helpful if Brenda hasn't shared that already. Okay, so I'll share that with you offline. Serena, do you want me to be adding the land bank onto the agenda, or do you want to just report on it for updates?
I think just for updates, I'll get in touch and put it on the agenda if something comes up. I think the way the meeting schedule goes, I have enough time to do that. And that would be the best way to add it if there's something to add, and then not sound like there's nothing going on if there isn't.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank
you. Okay, any other, Betta, you had something?
Oh, I was just going to mention we are hosting a webinar this Friday with New Yorkers for Clean Power is hosting it with Citizens for Local Power and Clearwater about green jobs. So if anybody's interested or knows anybody who might be interested, I think, is everybody on the New Yorkers for Clean Power mailing list? You should have received something about it, but if you want me to resend it or, resend you a notice about it, just shoot me an email.
Great.
Betta, can I ask what the content is going to be in that one?
Sure.
Like green jobs in what kind of, yeah.
Well, we have several community-based organizations who have like workforce development programs that are going to be guest speakers talking about their different programs. So we have Push Buffalo, which has a really incredible green jobs program. Nubian Directions based in Newburgh and Poughkeepsie. We Act for Environmental Justice based in Harlem. And then Melinda and Bill McKnight from Energy Conservation Specialists, which have a energy efficiency company, are going to be speaking from the contractor's point of view.
Got it. So it's going to be mostly places that do workforce training plus Bill and Melinda.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, thanks, Betta. Any other announcements, communications, events, or updates? Is there anything at this point that we would want to post on social media? I would say after Friday, we're going to want to post. We may want to post something if there's an announcement.
Why don't I post the webinar like tomorrow, and then Julie, you can send around the announcement, and I or someone else can post it.
Great. Okay.
The greenhouse gas emissions, is that something that is going to be in a format that we can post, or not quite yet?
I would say that at this point, the report that we posted was a formality for the certification, and that it is not, I would consider it in draft form, so I wouldn't be really pushing it yet.
Okay, and then what about, my only other thing was, what about the weaving the waterfront? Is that something that's in a format that we could post that the results of that, just to keep people updated if they participated, some follow-up?
Not yet. We only just compiled all the survey results today, and I have a wrap up, what's next meeting coming up, and I'll know after that, but not yet.
Okay, just because John's missing the meeting, so I'm trying to think ahead. I know he likes to have some content throughout the month.
Yeah. Yeah, I can feed some stuff to John, but none of those things that you mentioned are really ready yet.
Okay.
Okay. I did want to know, you'll notice that the clerk's office asks about a month in advance about what our future meetings are. I asked the mayor if he thought that June meetings would be live yet, and he said not likely. So you'll notice that the June Climate Smart meeting is still a virtual meeting. If things change over the course of the next month, that could always change, but for now it's on your calendar as a virtual meeting. So that being said, does anyone have any other business? Aneshka, did you have anything else you wanted to follow up with or questions or say? Okay, thanks for joining us. If we're all good, then I need a motion to adjourn. It is 5:59. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
It's better. Can I get a second?
Second.
Karen, all in favor? Anyone opposed?
Aye.
Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. Have a good night. I'm going to stop the recording now.
Hey.
Thanks.